4 minutes after. And the minutes were sent out from our previous meeting, which was in September. So if you want to quickly review your minutes to see if there's anything that I missed or that I missed, if there's any corrections or comments. Hearing none, seeing no hands, we will move along. Possibly. Let's see. I see Alexander's here. I don't know if I said hi to you yet, but I see you here from the councilman's representative. Susan, treasurer's report. I can't hear you. It doesn't say I'm muted, but I see your lips moving. Well, I can't hear you at all, so I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to you if you can figure out what happened. All right. Otherwise, I can read it. Okay, who's that going to be? No. Okay. I don't see. Oh,
Linda, if
yes.
I may, I've got her report up. I can give it on her behalf if you would like.
Okay. I was going to say, otherwise I can do it. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And otherwise I forget.
Okay. What a report that the beginning balance of September the 1st was $3,231.50. Since then, we've had, let's see, a reimbursement from the Zoom meeting expense cycle 3 grant of $216.38 with no expenses, leaving us an ending balance September the 30th of $3,447.88. We have a Beautify San Jose Cycle 3 grant, and the beginning balance there was $216.38. And we've had a Zoom meeting reimbursement out of that account for $216.38, leaving an ending balance of $0. And that account will be closed as a result of that. We have a beautification City of San Jose District 4 grant in the amount of $10,000 at the beginning of September, and we've had no expenses, no additional income, with an ending balance of $10,000. That's the report.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm glad you're here. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, that was Captain Trayer, so he'll be on momentarily. So we'll go to the sheriff, Lieutenant Julian Quinones.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, 1 second. I don't want to one on Timmy. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for having me. For this month's report, like we stated last week, with everything happening, our numbers did go down a little bit. We had 31 events for Sierra Road for the last month. Out of the 31 events, 11 were patrol checks. We had 4 citations were issued. We had 1 report for a stolen vehicle taken. And just today we had a fire up there that we assisted.
Ooh, nice.
Sierra Road at Varner Court. We had a couple of 3 different document services done up on Sierra Road during this last month. And that's pretty much about it. We had a couple of ATCs attempt to contact people. But other than that, it's been pretty normal behavior up on Sierra that we've been seeing. We're trying to get people back up there again, like before, at least 2 to 3 times. It's just a little bit more difficult with everything happening. We're not exactly sure where we're at with COVID, with the restrictions. We're still waiting to hear from our union is looking into it. So kind of like on this whole pattern to find out what's the next step now that the September 30th date is come and gone. So we're still waiting to find out what's going to happen with the vaccinated, unvaccinated, and something that we're still working on here in the department. But other than that, nothing big. Only one report was taken for, like I said, a stolen vehicle. Does anybody have any questions or any concerns? I can answer them for you now.
Yeah, just raise your hand up and I'll call on you. If you have a question for the sheriff. Oh, yes, I don't see anybody. All right.
Well, thank you guys very much. We'll see you next month. And again, if you have any questions, or you can always give us a call here or send us an email, and we'll get right to it.
Okay, great. We appreciate your being here. Thank you so.
Bye bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Captain Traer got on, so you're up next.
Figured it out, everybody. It wasn't easy. Hi, everyone. I'm Todd Traer, if I haven't met you. I'm the captain for the Foothill Division for San Jose Police Department. Thank you for having me again. We are the fire that the lieutenant spoke about on Sierra Road. My officers have been circulating, and right now they are currently on a stop involving a female that might be related that jumped into somebody's backyard kind of near Suncrest. I don't know yet if it's the person, but I can tell you that so many people I know up at Suncrest have sent me pictures of that person, and my cops did get her. So they are talking to her right now. It just happened, which is part of the reason why I didn't have 100% everything prepared, but I am making sure, and we're looking to see if it's related to the fire on Sierra Road. So that's what we're working on right now. Like the lieutenant said, there has not been a tremendous amount of terrible calls up in your area, and I'm very grateful for that. There has been a lot of enforcement in your area, especially with traffic. 8 citations for speeding, a lot of vehicle stops and warnings. Most of them are vehicle stops and warnings. I don't know if anybody here got one. Hopefully not. Hopefully no tickets. But I do see a lot of that happening. There was a disturbance of brandishing a weapon, and that was at it was reported at kind of the White and Penitentiary area, but it did come from Suncrest Sierra area, the driver of the car, and the officers weren't able to catch up in time. The person, it's hard sometimes for people to explain what direction they're going. They're behind the guy, and it kind of sent the officers a different way, and we weren't able to get the vehicle. But just a good reminder, if somebody's doing a road rage thing, they might have a gun. So please don't take them on yourself. Just call in the dangerous action and let us do our job. And we will do our best to catch them, like we did tonight with this person. And that was literally a person sending me an email, and my addiction to my email this tonight led to me seeing somebody in somebody's backyard, me calling it in, and the officers getting up there to get them. So it is still worth contacting us, because it does work out. I would like to offer at some point, I haven't done this with you guys, but I would love to walk with you somewhere in your area that you can kind of show me where there are problems that you'd like me to see, maybe before it gets too cold and between now and December. But I would appreciate if you have time. All of you are invited, or any of you, if you'd like to meet up with me at some point. I am often available on Sundays just because it's a quiet day. I shouldn't say that out loud in police work, but Sundays is a good day if you do have time. I usually come in the afternoon, and I'm here till late at night, which I wouldn't do to you. But I do want to bring that up in case you just kind of want to walk with me and show me some things. Sometimes I have to see things to understand them a little better. I'm kind of simple that way. Other than that, I won't go into too many details with the sideshow stuff. I've been working on that. Last week, I believe, maybe a week and a half ago, we got our first double injunction approved by the judge. In fact, one of the people was remanded into court for a while, and it just shows you that now the system is supporting all of us in our endeavors to try and keep it safe, our neighborhood safe from sideshows. And our techniques have been very, very effective lately. So hats off to my officers that are out there every night. They are ready every night, and they are dedicated to help keep it safer, because you've seen your fair share in your neighborhood too. So just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody was wondering the latest on that. I think that's all I have. Any questions or comments? Oh, there is one officer. I don't know if I told you guys about it, but I think he lives up near you. And I asked for traffic enforcement, and he has every week or every 10 days been going out and doing a ton of vehicle stops or stops on his motorcycle in your area. So that is effective. When they see the motorcycles out there, that makes a difference. It slows people down. I'm not so naive to think it will solve the problem, but it will help. If you see him out there, please give him a little wave in a nice way, a nice hand gesture. And just know that he is a very good friend of mine. He and I rode together on the breast cancer walk ride that we do every year when we're able to do that. We've done it for 10 years together. And he said he would be out there doing enforcement because he knows the Sierra Road issues.
Oh, great. Sounds good.
What's going on?
Anybody have any questions or
Yeah.
comment?
How do I raise my hand?
Just raise your hand. I can see it if you do that. There you go. Okay, Wally, go ahead.
Sierra Road between Flickinger and Lundy. We have people up there practicing spinning around in an intersection, driving at high rates of speed and making a lot of noise. By the time it's like they just do a practice run and then they take off. So if I called it in when I hear the noise, I live on Sageland. I'm a block away. By the time you guys got there, they'd be long gone. So it's almost like if you have somebody who has some spare time, if he could kind of park on Sierra Road there and maybe he'll get lucky.
I appreciate it. I hear you. And that's kind of the, the difficult with those type of drivers is that they don't hang around. But I do want to tell you one secret, and I know I'm being recorded, and I guess it's okay if it goes out to the world. But I have officers ready every night for sideshows for that type of behavior. But when there are no sideshows, then those same officers are going out and they're doing enforcement on those cars that are jamming around our neighborhood. It's working. They're taking cars, they are sending them to the state ref, which is a huge deal. They have to drive all the way up to Sacramento with a fully fixed vehicle. And you can imagine that's not easy to make happen on those cars because they have modified exhaust and superpowers that I don't even understand with those cars. But I will, thank you for telling me, sir. I wrote it down and I'll make sure I let the traffic unit know as well as the beat units. Even the beat units are more likely to be the ones that are going to be out there. If you had an idea of what time, it would help me a little bit. Otherwise, I'll just give them the general information and I'll drive out and kind of see what the road looks like, how many burnouts are there, that type of thing.
It's generally during the daylight hours, not always at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Linda, Dick Santos,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Captain Trayer, thank you for taking the administrative process where you guys are indicting the promoters of these car shows and so on, side shows, I should say. That was a good tactic because these are the people that go on Facebook, and promote that and get away with maybe murder, which is really a shame. The other thing, the fire started north of Sierra and the wind blew it towards Sunset. So that was blocked off. I watched it real quick and we made neighbors calls and so on. And I took a look at it and I could see the gray smoke, which meant grass. I didn't see any black smoke. But it took off real quick because the wind was real severe. I do want to say that we petitioned the county and I was able to fight real hard. And we got 2 caution lights installed up here in Skyview and Sierra. And it really made the difference. Of course, your officers with the sheriff in San Jose, I see less CHP now, but it has made an impact and I really appreciate it. It's been safer. I hope it continues, but without your visibility, we will not be able to maintain it. But what you guys have done, and ladies and so on, have done a great job. And I want to thank you. You guys be safe. You got a tough job. You sure the hell can't please everybody, but you sure make us feel good by being there. So thank you.
I beyond appreciate your support. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for being here tonight, Captain. We appreciate you and all the information you give out. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
All right. Senator Wykowski's office, Tim Orozco. I talked to him the other day and he swore he would be here, but the Giants took precedence. So the Giants game has started already. And so he had his family over and friends, I guess, to watch the Giants play. So I guess I'll forgive him. Anyway, so representing Assemblyman Alex Lee, Jaria, do you want to speak?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Variesa. It's like Mariah, but with a J, like Mariah Carey, and I'm a field
Oh,
representative.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a field representative at the office. I'll be attending these meetings on his behalf. So we actually had a pretty busy month happening. So the governor finished signing all his bills, and we happily got 5 out of the 7 bills passed, which is really exciting. And so I just want to highlight 2 bills that would majorly impact like us here. Keeping Bart safe, the AB 1337. This bill would essentially allow like Bart police to have the authority to be able to like keep that area safe, like for the new Milpitas station and the Variesa station. And also 1061, AB 1061 is also a really important one that passed. This one essentially protects mobile home residents from unfair water service. So they get charged on how much water they personally use. Yeah, and I will also send Honor sent a link if you want to look into more of the bills in detail. As I mentioned, there were 5 that passed. And next week, we're also, this month actually, we have a pretty busy month for events. So I have a whole list here. Next Monday, we're having a legislative town hall. And so if you want to learn more about the bills that were passed, we're going to be talking about our bills, other important bills that impact you, and also the budget if you're interested in that. And you can ask questions there as well. And then after that, we have another interesting event called Boba and Bills. And essentially, if you have any bill ideas, you can book an appointment with the assembly member and you can meet with him at a milk tea store. We picked Toco Toco in Toco Toco Tea next to the Variesa flea market. And so he'll be tabling right outside. You can tell him any bill idea that you have. It'll be a really fun little event. And then after that, on October 25th, we have the Halloween Safety Fair. And I put the Facebook link in there. We're collaborating with, I believe, the police and fire department. And so it'll be a really fun event and you can learn about how you can be more safe. And it'll be at Great Mall as well. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was that this Friday, we're closing our nominations for our Unsung Heroes event. And Unsung Heroes is essentially if there are anyone in your community or that you think help make our community better, we're going to give out awards for them in November. So nominations close this Friday. It'll be a really fun event. They'll get a trophy and recognition for all the hard work that they do to make our community better. And I believe that's all of it from our office.
Yeah, Linda's Anurag. I'd say one more thing. I think I forgot to mention Drya. As we know, the state eviction moratorium has expired, but still a lot of people need help. There is a lot of funding available from state for renters and landlords. So if you are in need of getting your rent that wasn't given to you or you weren't able to pay, you can still apply for state rental assistance program. It covers 100% of your rent, or if a landlord wants to recover their rent, you can get 100% back as well. The application is still open until I think March, and it's 2 weeks. You will hear from them. If you know anybody or if you can share, I put the link housing. If simply is housing is key, or you can use housing.ca.gov. You can send it out to anybody. It's helping a lot of people, and still there's money. So I mean, people are just not taking money. It's 5 billion. People only use 1.2 billion. So the money's still on the table for people to get assistance. So trying to point that out.
Very nice. Very good. I know there's been a lot, on TV advertising about that. So I hope people can figure out how to take advantage of it. Otherwise, they could probably just call your office and get some directions. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Jiraya, did I say your name right? I'm practicing.
Yes, you did. That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And Anurag, thank you so much for your report. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Is there anyone here from Rokana's office? Rokana's office? Okay. I thought he wanted to.
Their office was off today for.
Oh, that could be. That's true. Yeah. All right. Supervisor Otto Lee Lawrence he wanted to come. He's contacted us a couple of times. All right. Council member David Cohen's office. Alexander is here. Go ahead,
All
Al.
right, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Before we get into tonight's report, I just want to take a moment to address the fire earlier this afternoon
Okay,
that Lieutenant Quinones and Captain Fair briefly touched on, and to thank SJFD and SJPD for their quick response. The fire was contained and no injuries were reported.
oh,
So
great.
we're really proud and thankful to our firefighters for acting so quickly to keep a bad situation from becoming worse. Now I want to start tonight's report with an update on some of the policies that have been approved by the council in the last couple of weeks. We're proud to report that the council unanimously adopted a policy that Councilmember Cohen co-authored: keep tobacco out of schools and prevent youth addiction to cigarettes by banning flavored tobacco. So we know that flavored tobacco is one of the #1 ways kids get addicted to tobacco products. And studies have shown that banning those flavored tobacco products cuts youth smoking rates in half. So this is a really important step to protect kids from nicotine addiction. The policy we passed also prohibits new tobacco retailers from opening near schools. So it just kind of provides that extra layer of protection to keep cigarettes out of our schools. The council also adopted in the last couple of weeks new energy efficiency programs that are estimated to reduce San Jose's annual CO2 emissions by about 1,000 metric tons. And we also expanded financial hardship exemptions to provide relief to thousands of small businesses in San Jose. I also want to give a quick update on the city's work to repave and repair streets in Variesa. So Hofstadter Road has been repaved all the way up to Morrill, with the rest of the road up to Piedmont scheduled for repair by the end of the year. Landes is being done right now, and some of the smaller local roads are slated for maintenance kind of heading into the fall season. So keep an eye out for some street improvements in your neighborhood over the next few weeks. On a similar subject, I believe Wally mentioned some of the speeding issues on Sierra. So we just want to let folks know that during the last budget session, our office was able to secure just over $100,000 in funding for improvements on Sierra Road, kind of between Flickinger and Lundy, to prevent sideshow activities and discourage speeding and reckless driving. So that's another thing we're going to be seeing over the next few months as they work on those designs, but we're very optimistic that that's going to help discourage a lot of the speeding issues that we've seen on that road. Lastly, we want to invite all of you to join us for a town hall on October 21st to meet our new city manager, Jennifer McGuire. The city manager plays an extremely important role in making sure the city is responsive to our residents. And so this is a really good opportunity to meet the city manager, get to know her priorities and vision for San Jose, and ask her or the council member any questions you might have that they can help with. So please visit the link that I'm posting in the chat right now on October 21st to join us and chat with the council member and our new city manager, Jennifer McGuire. All right, that's all for Councilmember Cohen's office. Thanks for your time and have a great night, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming tonight and giving that report. Appreciate it. Wally, did you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
Sierra Road between Variesa and Lundy. When are they going to take a chunk out of the golf course and widen that whole thing to a safe width?
I'm sorry, was there a question from Wally?
yes.
Audio issues, I think. What was the question?
Sierra Road between Lundy and Variesa Road, that new section. There's a section in there, a very short section, that hasn't been widened because it borders on the golf course. You'll have to take a chunk out of the golf course. When they were planning on building all that stuff in the flea market parking lot, they said they would make that a through street, and it's so narrow there, it's really not safe if there are pedestrians or children playing and they run out between cars and stuff.
I can double check with the DOT to see if there's a timeline on that. Do you know who it was you spoke with about the street improvements in that part of Sierra?
That was when they were planning on opening up everything west of Lundy. It was originally zoned commercial, and I went to all the planning meetings then. That's when they described that.
Yeah. I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with that, but let me check in with our Department of Transportation, see if they have any insights onto whether there's a timeline on that, and then I'll get back to you. I'll drop my email in the chat so that you can follow up with me. Okay, Wally?
Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Alexander. Let's see, who's next? Oh, Dick Santos, you're up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As always, we're praying for rain. Meantime, everybody's working. The governor didn't get recalled, so we're asking him, hey, put some money out. Let's get something done. Let's get some water. Meantime, the water district, representing you folks, we're having meetings. We've been having them for years with Contra Costa and Los Vaqueros, and then creating a JPA, and we're working with them right now to purchase water so we can have a additional source in case things get worse, which they may do. So we're all working. There's water tours at the recycle plant on Zanker. You're all invited if you ever want to go. I've been a numerous times with our different elected officials. We're still working on the potential agreement with the city of San Jose. We're still working with the city of Sunnyvale, and Palo Alto is getting recycling plants also. We have not stopped. And so there's a lot of stuff going on, but also President Biden's bill. We hope that'll be passed soon. We hope funding will come out of that. We continue, no matter what, working on Coyote and all the different streams and creeks in Santa Clara County, because as you know, past history, after droughts comes floods. So we continue work. It's not stopped. Other than that, yeah, we hate to see grass fires because they're using unnecessary water. So by the way, I appreciate Council Member Cohen, because Sierra Road all up to Skyview is beautiful. It was repaved. We appreciate it. It's good for emergency vehicles and all the people that live here. So thank you.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Santos? Oh, James, I see a hand up.
Yes, just curious about the street paving. We live on the east end of Helmsley Drive, and some of the streets in our neighborhood got this really beautiful, smooth asphalt covering. Our street got kind of a rough-hewn treatment with a fairly distinct ridge going down the middle of it. It's certainly better than what it was, but I'm just curious as to how the decision is made as to which streets get the nice smooth asphalt covering and which ones live with the rough hewn version.
I'll try to
David,
take that
okay,
one
good.
since I'm here actually. Every
Yeah.
street is going to get the full repave resurfacing, but some streets get a pre-work if they need crack filling and other things. So what you've seen probably on your street is the early pre-work before the final surfacing gets done. And there are two types.
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you quickly, just in the interest of time. We did get pre-work, and that was there a few days. And then they came back and did this other job, and we asked the street guys, and they said, "That's your final, Bob. That's as good as it gets."
Oh, well, I guess I should check on your street, but some people are also commenting about the fact that sometimes they come through and they do crack filling and other things that look like some kind of resurfacing. And then a second company comes through to do the resurfacing. So there's two companies that do the paving. One actually is the one that has, for major issues, will come in and actually tear up the top surface and put in a new surface. The other one is a company that comes through that lays down a new layer of asphalt. And so one of the companies has completed in your neighborhood, but the other one hasn't. And I can't say for sure what treatment your street was getting and what's been done yet, but every street is going to get a new asphalt layer for sure. So if yours hasn't had it yet, it will.
We've got a layer. It's just distinctly rough, very different from some of the layers that have been put in some of the courts near us. We're on Helmsley off of Summerdale, and we dead end at the park, at Penitentiary Creek Park, and it is very rough.
Well, we'll look into it, but I'll find out if there's any difference between the surface treatments that the two companies are doing, and that could be what you're seeing. But we'll check into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Glad you're here tonight. Appreciate that.
I just have a
Okay.
quick question.
Yes. Who
Oh
said
yeah.
that?
Oh, I actually I live in that area as well. I was just wondering if there's like any like way we can know like for future reference if it's going to be paved or not, because when I was traveling on Hofstadter when they were doing the repaving, I was stuck in traffic for a long time. And so I was just hoping, like,
Me
if I
too.
need to commute somewhere, maybe like I can avoid the road. Is there like a public like schedule that we can see and look at?
There is a schedule for the major roads like Hofstadter. The schedule is a 2-week window though, and we can't specify exactly which days they'll be paving, which ones they won't. So we knew it was going to be paved within that 2-week window, but which sections would be paved when is up to the company. As far as side streets, you know, those are in and out in one day, and it's a little bit harder to know exactly which day, because the neighborhood is on a schedule, but not necessarily the street. But you'll get notice on your street with the little signs that go up saying no parking on a day, and you'll know that that's the day that the paving's coming.
Okay, thank you. Just wondering.
In Hofstadter, they did like the north side of Hofstadter, and so they left the south side open, so you couldn't go to the businesses from there, but at least you could go up and down the street. And then
I was stuck in it one day too. I mean, if you
Yeah.
get stuck there in the morning during rush hour,
Oh, it's
and one or two lanes are closed, it is a problem. I understand, but that was usually
but then the
that's
next week
only
they
a couple
they
days.
just switched sides. Yeah. So look, at least it's done. Oh, looks good. All right, thank you. Glad you were here, David, tonight to help us with that. All right, our Variesa Union School District Superintendent, Dr. Fuentes.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see all of you. So I just have a few things today. First, again, really excited to have our students back in person, learning in school, and also participating in their extracurricular activities. So we've had our middle school students back out on the field doing all of their different sports events, and very proud to share that our Sierramont Middle School cross country team has captured the division title for the 6th year in a row. So very, very proud of their triumphs. The girls also, the cross-country team is both boys and girls overall, but also in the girls division, they captured 2nd place. So really excited for them. They'll be going on to finals out in Gilroy. So really glad to be able to offer full experience of school to our kids again. We know that as conditions have improved, we have more children returning to in-person learning, which is also good. I think right now we're probably at about 200 students district-wide that continue to be in independent study. And certainly with the vaccination news upcoming, we know from many parents, they're just waiting for that opportunity and will plan to bring their children in person once vaccinated. So we've had really strong partnerships for COVID testing and for vaccination. So we already have a Pfizer booster clinic scheduled for all of our eligible employees. So that will be taking place October 21st. And we continue to have our partnership with Bay Area Community Health, and that's open to all residents in Variesa for COVID testing. Their next testing event will be October 21st as well for everyone at Sierramont Middle School. And we're still pending the announcement for vaccination for ages 5 to 11, but we're expecting that that will happen at the end of this month. And we've already have 4 clinics scheduled on site for the month of November for all of our elementary students who are interested in getting that vaccination. So again, really pleased with our partnerships in this area to be able to provide that service to our staff and to our families. Also, the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, if you've all been going through your mail, the first week of October, you should have received your ballot for November 2nd election. So on that ballot, you have our Measure A parcel tax renewal. So I wanted to be sure that I provided some information tonight to everyone about that. In the chat, I've put in our district website where we have all of the information regarding Measure A. And I also wanted to introduce to all of you our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, who's here tonight, Kevin Franklin. Kevin, if you'll just give a wave so they can identify you on the screen. So Kevin oversees all of our fiscal matters in Variesa Union and takes charge of all of our bond projects as well as our parcel tax. So I wanted him to be here this evening to be able to share with you Measure A, the renewal, what it would provide for our schools, and be able to answer any questions you might have. So Kevin, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you.
All right, good evening. Thank you for having me. So as Dr. Fuentes said, Measure A is a parcel tax renewal. So it's not an increase to taxes. We're not looking for an increase. We're just looking to renew the current tax that's currently in place, $79 per parcel. It brings in approximately $1.8 million in revenue for the district. And the things that it goes towards are half of it is roughly for teacher salaries for our math and science programs. So, about $1 million is allocated to having math and science. And, of course, we have to have that. It allows us to have smaller class sizes. We also fund our library services program. So all of our library media technicians that currently are in charge of our libraries at each and every school are funded out of this program. And that's close to $675,000 that gets allocated to our library program. There's another position, a counselor's position, that's funded out of the program as well. And then we just have a few of the administrative costs of running the parcel tax for administrative costs that goes towards all of that. So it totals about 1.8 million. There is a senior exemption. So there's an exemption for senior citizens who want to opt out of the tax. And so there's a process for that. There's a form on our website. Fill out the form, bring in the documentation that you're the homeowner and that you've paid the tax. If you've already paid the tax, we'll issue a refund for that year, and we'll make sure that you're taken out of the system and not charged for that tax moving forward. And there's also an exemption for anybody who's on disability, on Social Security disability. There's an opt-out for that as well. And so that's kind of the parcel tax in a nutshell. If there's any questions that I can answer, I'd be glad to take a crack at answering those.
Questions? I don't see any hands, no waving.
Well, again, we would just like to thank everyone here on the call. Variesa community has always been incredibly supportive to our school district and in supporting, our students and their education. So we greatly appreciate that. I do see a hand, James.
James, your hand is up. Were you there? Because it was down, so just went up.
Forgot to unmute.
There you go.
I just
Okay.
want to comment that we're absolutely in favor of continuing that assessment. We are seniors plus, you might say. We are the fortunate recipients of Prop 13, as some of the other people in the group may be. And what I can say is that if I was to vote against this, or in our situation, opt out, under those circumstances, I'd have a tough time looking at myself in the mirror. So good luck to you, and I hope it passes with flying colors.
Thank you very much, James. Appreciate your support and confidence in our school district. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Very good. Thank you, Dr. Fuentes and Kevin Franklin.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
all the information you gave us. And of course, I support measure, my husband and I. All right. Next up is our student representative from Piedmont Hills High School, Vishnu.
All right. Hi, everyone. I have a few little announcements, like keeping up on the news on Piedmont and in general. So Piedmont has finally decided to offer the SAT, which is a really nice change, because Piedmont usually did not offer the SAT, and seniors at Piedmont would have to scramble to other schools. And in my case, I had to travel to Merced to take my SAT. So it's a great change. I'm glad Piedmont's finally going through with that. In terms of what's actually happening within Piedmont, Piedmont created a school equity committee comprised of like students themselves. So it's a student body panel. And so the students are able to like convey their feelings and whatever worries they have. And I think that's great because students never really had the opportunity to provide feedback about the school itself. And one more of this fun side, we are having our first concert in 2 years tomorrow. The choreo department has having their first concert. So if you're bored and you don't have anything to do, please attend. And I will be at a band concert on Wednesday, along with the orchestra for the band department's first concert. So I hope to see you guys there.
Very nice. Anything else? I don't know if you made that announcement before about your internship.
Oh, right. I said that at the board meeting. All right. So I guess like about a month or two ago, I went to one of Mr. Cohen's dumpster days. And I got the opportunity to join an internship with District 4, and I took up that offer, and it has been a blast working with Mr. Cohen and seeing how his office operates. And I've learned so many new things. So it's kind of like a big chapter for me.
Very good. Very good. We're very proud of you. Are there any questions from our student? Okay. Is there anybody here from Senator Cortez's office? No? Okay. Well, I don't have anything else. Ty, did you want to give any report on anything? Where are you? There you are.
I am here. I'll give a quick thank you to everyone who participated in making the mural restoration program a success and a completion. The kiosk was delivered to the community center last week, and it's there and available. Unfortunately, you can't get it to the center, but Eric used his talents to mount the presentation video. It's about 12 minutes long on our website, so you can see it remotely. And of course, you can always go down to the community center and actually see the restored mural. It's quite lovely. But there were a lot of people that helped make that happen, and that's a strong completion on the part of our organization. And now we need to look forward to how we're going to spend $10,000 to make that park more beautiful and more available based on the grant that was given from the city. So that's my announcement.
It'll be exciting to see. I know I saw it before its completion, and it's so nicely done. And while people are waiting in the lobby, they'll be able to, have something to watch, and it's got some historic information on it. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. So I'm sure we'll get in there one of these days. And what I'd like to do as soon as we can, of course, is rededicate that mural on the wall. So the city or the community center doesn't want us to do anything yet, even outside, because they won't open the center and people will have to go to the bathroom if they think there's a facility. So we're just waiting. As soon as we will do that, I'd probably like to do that like on a Saturday afternoon or morning, just so we can get a lot of people there to really appreciate that. It's so beautiful to see. It's incredible. So
we'll have to go and look.
Do I hear somebody? Does somebody want to say something?
Did they
No?
speak about the apartment?
I don't think so.
Oh, somebody's just talking, but they're not saying anything. Okay, well, I don't have anything else. Our next general membership meeting is November 8th. Is there an election that day? I don't think so. And then we have a BCAC board Zoom meeting next Monday. So
Didn't get an active Zoom.
You're off mute. So.
Tell them we didn't get an active Zoom.
James, do you have your hand up again, or?
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you, Linda. I hope I didn't doze off and miss something, but I was just curious. We missed the outdoor meeting that they had down on the site of the, I guess, pretty much cast in concrete now pair of apartment buildings at the intersection of Penitentiary and Capitol. And I'm wondering whether anybody was at that, whether there was anything to report back concerning that project, and just what the status is of it.
Sharon was at the initial meeting, and then they had a Zoom meeting with the planning group. So, and Ty and I and Susan listened in on that. Well, actually, Ty asked some questions. So, Susan, do you want to say what happened the day in person that you got to be there? Sharon? Can you hear me, Sharon?
I thought you said Susan.
Oh,
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
yes.
Can you hear me? It's interesting. I think the guy, Eric, that was conducting the meeting walked away very frustrated with the opposition to his wonderful plan. They only want to put 850 apartments in the 864 parking spots. I meant 350 with 364 parking spots in an 8-story building. And then there'll be condos on the other side, and they think everyone's going to only have one or no cars and take public transportation for all their needs. You're kidding.
So that's why we have the light rail.
The light rail that goes what, one direction and doesn't go anywhere? So there's a lot of people upset.
But it goes so slowly.
Yeah.
Someone that was there said they compared, he went to San Jose State, and he compared the time it took to walk to and get to all the different things that they have to go to get to San Jose State on public transportation. And then he drove it at the same time of the day, and he was actually able to get there, find a parking spot, walk to class, and be in a seat in less time than it took him to go through public transportation.
Yeah.
If I may, Linda, I want to
Yeah, go
add a
ahead.
little bit on what Sharon just shared, and
Yeah.
that is to say that at the Zoom presentation, there were questions raised by people who live at what is called Creekside, the place that is now currently there. And so they had some serious questions and serious concerns, and they've reached out to our organization. And I expect that we'll have their inputs at our next board meeting. And they're looking for our input and our recommendations in the matter. The other thing I would add is that we will have 20 days after the release of the environmental assessment in which to make our written comments. So it would behoove us as an organization to get in front of this and make our decisions on how we want to engage with this project. And so that's just what I wanted to add.
It was interesting because I sat in on that same meeting, on the Zoom meeting. So I really got to hear what the people that live there already were so concerned about, and their concerns were so legitimate. You know, how do the fire truck get in there? How do they turn around? You know, I drove in there myself, just, you know, it's not built up yet, but there's all those condos that are already in there at the Creekside, and it's just, people are parking on the street, and you can go around in a circle, but I wouldn't want a fire truck to be particularly going around there in any kind of a hurry. So there wouldn't be any hurry. So they brought up some legitimate things. Plus they would build this, is it 7-story or 8-story building?
8.
And so it's going to be in front of these 3-story condos. You know, it's like, why would you do that? So I think they had some real legitimate concerns. And so like Ty said, I think we need to stay on top of it and get some accurate information, and then see what we can do and work with our council person, David. I know David already knows about it. He was at that meeting down at the location. So
does anyone know who does the environmental study?
I don't know who does that.
David, do you?
Actually, I mean, it's all done through the planning department. I'm not sure exactly who gets hired to do the actual environmental impact report. I mean, that's all something that's done through the city's planning department.
Do you know who we could contact in that department?
Yeah, we had I don't have it with me at this moment. We had an email address of the people at the planning department. If you, I can get that to you tomorrow. Actually, let me see. Let me see if I can post it right now. The email address of the person at the city. It'll take me a second to look it up after I finish talking, but that there is somebody at the planning department who's the point person on the project that you can contact about the project. And there's still several steps that have to occur with the environmental impact report, and then the city, and then the response from the community, and then the response from the planning department as to whether the project is appropriate for the site based on the environmental concerns and based on the zoning for the site. The planning department will make a recommendation. It's still not clear whether this project will ever come forward to the city council or not, but it wouldn't happen until next summer before it would go to the planning commission. If it did, that would depend on whether it gets approved by planning and whether there are enough concerns in the environmental impact report that it would need to go further than just the planning department. So it's important that your input go to the planning department.
Came before you? Would you vote for it if it came before? Would you vote for it?
At this point, I have several. At this point, I have several concerns about the project, so I'm not sure I would. I think I would. I mean, I'm unhappy with the scale of the project for that site. So but it's still a ways off, and I'm waiting to see what the planning department pushes back on the developer and how the design comes forward. But I'm not in favor of the current project as proposed.
I think that's why we need to get as many facts together as we can and then present that to the planning department so that they know what the concerns are. They sound really legitimate so far, but we don't have all the information at our hands. So, we'll work on that, and we'll talk about that as at our board meeting next Monday and see what we need to do. And they may modify it. Maybe that would make us a little happier, but it's just, it was really strange to drive down there and see where they play. There's two plots, so that's why there's different things that are going to be put on there, but they're across from each other. So, are there any other questions?
At the in-person meeting, I think he said, someone asked him about reducing the number of stories, and he said it wouldn't be financially profitable for them to put less units on it.
Thank you for that. All right, David's got a note up, planning email, the planning, oh yeah. So you can see that, or we'll put it in our minutes so that you'll have that too, so. Okay, are there any other questions? Any other statements? All right, I guess we can adjourn to go check on the Giants and see how they're doing. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. It's very informative. I appreciate all your information.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.